Ubisoft continues to destroy itself, inflicting numerous massive gaping wounds. The latest is a collectible from Pure Arts that depicts Yasuke and Naue from Assassin's Creed Shadows standing on top of a destroyed one-legged Torii gate, which many people believe is been done out of malice to reference the atomic bombing at Nagasaki, where there is a surviving one-legged Torii gate. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. I wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com, and you can see right there, here is the collectible from Pure Arts. It is part of their collectible line of 6-inch figures. I actually thought when I first saw the image, I thought it was a Funko Pop because the characters look like Funko Pops, but it's not. It is a collectible created by Pure Arts, and you can see Yasuke is standing there, and Naue is perched on top of this one like a Torii gate, a gate that has obviously been destroyed. There should be, if it was a fully functioning Torii gate, obviously you would have another leg here, and then the rest of the top part. And then here you can see it from behind. And then here's another really good look of the gate itself. So the figure is available to purchase on Big Bad Toy Store, and this is what the official description says: Legendary Samurai Yasuke. They're still trying to sell that. No, that is not true. And Stealthy Shinobi Naue, dual protagonists of Assassin's Creed Shadows, ready to fulfill their destinies and usher in a new era for Japan. Collectors captures iconic Assassin's Creed scenes in cute new 6-inch format, the perfect size to fit in any collection. So that is the toy and its official description. The collectible caught the attention of ex-user R230614 Shin, who blasted Ubisoft for greenlighting it as he speculates that Naue is perched on a one-legged Torii gate. That is a total misspelling there. As translated by Google, the user wrote this: please spread the word. Assassin's Creed Shadows figures from Ubisoft, a famous Japanese hate and criminal company. So not starting off on the right foot here. Ubisoft not starting on the right foot at all here. A figurine of a destroyed Torii gate has been released, which is believed to be based on the one-leg Torii gate that was destroyed in the Nagasaki atomic bombing. I have never seen a one-legged Torii other than the one destroyed by the American atomic bomb in Nagasaki. So you can see there is the gate, that the surviving part of the gate that has been destroyed. It does look extremely similar to the one depicted in the collectible. Obviously, they colored it red. They made it wood instead of what this looks like. It is stone or cement or some much more sturdy structure than what here looks like is trying to look like it was wood. And they obviously added a rope, etc. But looks very, very similar. Again, maybe the bar here or the top part of the gate isn't as long, but you can even see it's got this little part here. It is missing the other part on the other side because they do add that. So they did take some creative liberties, but it definitely does look heavily inspired by this gate that was the portion of the gate that survived the Nagasaki atomic bomb. So with Shin bringing attention to the figure, many others roasted Ubisoft for it. YouTuber Razorfist wrote this. This was probably my favorite response here. Razorfist always really good at conveying what he is thinking and hitting right to the point. He says, Ubisoft including an artifact from a nuclear detonation, a one-sided arch, in what promises to be the biggest bomb of the year. God is a stand-up comedian. I don't know if it's going to be the biggest bomb. It's going to be hard to top Concord, especially if that rumor from Colin Moriarty is correct. $400 million price tag doesn't even include how much PlayStation and Sony paid for Firewalk Studios. But I do think that Assassin's Creed Shadows is definitely going to be up there because they constantly are just injuring themselves. They're injuring themselves in their confusion being brought on by their embrace of woke ideology and the DEI agenda. Not Haru 47 wrote this: Ubisoft just keeps digging themselves deeper into the crapper. Agree. They're the ones doing this. They're the ones inflicting these wounds upon themselves. It's just absolutely wild. YouTuber Vera Dark here She wrote this: Ubisoft is spending $500 million on game budgets before, so they either hired dollar store historians, which I think that's probably pretty accurate based on what we've seen from Thomas Lockley. We do know he did indeed collaborate with Ubisoft, was part of their podcast, and it clearly seems to be that they were inspired to choose Yasuke because of his fictionalization, or are intentionally disrespecting Japan. Well, it could be both, right? There's no shot this many mistakes have been made. I kind of agree. It's hard to give them the benefit of the doubt anymore. Oh, they're just making mistakes. It does seem like there is some malice happening here, and it's hard not to assume that now, given the fact that there's so many things happening here regarding this game. I mean, the fact that they chose Yasuke and Naoe as the protagonist instead of a male Japanese character, I think tells you all you really need to know about what Ubisoft thinks of Japan. They should have chosen a male Japanese character for this game, and they didn't. They didn't, and I think that's really the main point there that shows that they are operating out of malice rather than anything else. Kinsun Chia wrote this: Ubisoft using an atomic bomb relic for its marketing. This is what DIE money buys a company. Absolutely agree with that. Crimson Red Asuka said, Ubisoft reviving World War II bombings in Japan. Ubisoft needs to go bankrupt. Video game companies can't be led by woke and communist activists. Well, we do see that they can, but it usually ends up in financial disaster. Obviously, we saw that with Firewalk Studios and Concord. We are seeing that with Rocksteady, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. We saw this with Surgeon Studios and what is it, Kinzera, Tales of Zao. The list goes on and on and on. What is the Flintlock, The Age of Siege? I don't even remember what that developer is called right now off the top of my head, but I remember one of their top executives just had an absolute meltdown after that game was added to the Sweet Baby Inc. detected Steam curator list. So they can be led to them, but they are led to that. When they are leading them, they're leading them to their demise. That's what happens when woke communist activists take control of companies. They lead them to their demise. Madam Savvy wrote this: the consultants they hired were too busy focusing on transgenerational relationships. That's absolutely true. And basing things off a historical vandal. Again, Thomas Lockley. The comments are interesting, and this was sad to learn this way. 3,000 people working on Assassin's Creed Shadows, and this is what they have to offer. This is the best 3,000 people can do. Maybe fire the bloat, get some actual historians, and do better. I agree. We need that Captain Falcon meme there. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Do better. Exactly. Ex-user Kuso Goriunichi referenced the Olympic Games in Paris and wrote this as translated via Google. France is probably a devil's country because they even mocked their own mass Christians with the Last Supper of the monsters. It's unfortunate because France used to be one of the most Catholic countries, Christian countries out there, and they truly have degenerated because they have lost sight of the truth. They have abandoned God, and the fruits are now being seen with what Ubisoft is creating with Assassin's Creed Shadows, and obviously with what we saw at the Olympic Games in Paris. It's absolutely sick and it's disgusting, but this is what happens when you abandon the truth. Jikuri Koto 4 posted this. Ubi says they studied Japan when they released Shadows, but I think it's more accurate to say they studied material that would insult Japan. It's disappointing. And again, yeah, I think this is the reputation that Ubisoft is getting for itself now. It's not that like, oh, they're making a bunch of mistakes. It's that you're making so many mistakes. And this goes to back what Vera was saying. You're making so many mistakes. It's hard to believe that they're just mistakes now. It looks like it's being done out of malice. And I it's hard to argue that now. It's hard to argue against that. There was at least one person who was kind of pushing back a little bit. While many people are trashing Ubisoft for the collectible, and again, I just shared that's just a little bit. There's a ton more if you want to go look at the quote tweets. One user does note there are other broken Torii gates and is seemingly giving Ubisoft the benefit of the doubt. However, he even admitted this: even if unintentional, the one like Torii is a reminder of the devastation caused by the Nagasaki atomic bomb. So the use of this design was undesirable and should have been avoided if possible. If that's the argument, I agree. So even an individual who's like, well, let's maybe step back a little bit from this. He's even saying that like this design is inappropriate because it does bring up memories or obviously not many people are alive from that time period anymore, but obviously there is that generate it's been passed down word of mouth, etc. People do know what happened there, and brings up that obviously heinous act that the United States of America committed on the Japanese people. Absolutely should not have occurred. But that is what people are saying. Ubisoft is in more trouble here. There's no way that this ends up being spun by Ubisoft if they even address it. Which if I was them, I wouldn't address this unless to maybe pull the toy. That might be a positive thing. That's like maybe the only thing that they could do is to pull this thing. But anything else that they do is just going to make it worse. So I would expect them to do that because that seems to be their modus operandi. They like to address things and make it worse, such as when their Assassin's Creed executive producer decided to address Elon Musk's three-word post, DEI kills art, and then admitted that he was like emotionally broken by that. I mean, come on, dude. What are you doing there? But that's what I expect them to do because that is who Ubisoft is now. They are run by a bunch of very soft individuals who clearly do not understand the truth. They don't respect other people for as much as they claim to be a woke company. You can see the hypocrisy of the woke ideology in Ubisoft. And that's exactly what that ideology is, though. It is hypocritical. It does not actually lead one to any kind of truth. It does not lead one to being charitable to other people. It leads to being divisive. And that is exactly what we see here with Assassin's Creed Shadows. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know what you make of this in the comments. Remember to always be charitable, but to always speak the truth.